And because I went to a pharmacy and they were all there, and I was like, well, can you all fill out this survey? They all had a different way of doing their job and seeing their job and seeing the people that worked around them. And I did, I think, maybe two or three songs of that. And I was like, wow, like they're different songs, obviously. But then like the beat's different, the feels different, the way that they wanted to express was different.
Welcome to Fishing Without Bait, a lifetime without definitive expectations, where we help people explode into their lives through full impact mindfulness. The only entrance requirement is the honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness to try. And if you have a few pixie dust sprinkles of each of those, you're on your way. Welcome aboard and let the adventure begin. I'm Jim Ellermeyer. I'm a behavioral health therapist, and joining our eclectic roster of guests today is kidmental.
Hey. How are you?
Well, so kid, how do you prefer to be addressed?
Usually if I meet you in a musical environment, if I'm performing and you know me as kidmental, it helps me remember who you are. So I don't mind anything close to my name, kidmental, K, mental.
Everybody deserves to be called how they choose.
Yes, indeed.
Everyone
indeed.
deserves that.
So true.
So
true.
How do you prefer to be addressed?
I mean, since you've met me this way, I can remember you more. So if I see you in the street and you call me kidmental, then I'll be like, oh, okay, my brain works a little bit better.
Everybody goes through metamorphoses in their life.
Yeah.
Everybody blooms. Everybody has an epiphany. The only thing constant about life is change.
True.
So, and what we like to talk about on this show is how you got there from here. How you got here from there.
From
yes.
there.
Everyone's on a journey.
Yes, we are. We are all on a journey. And that journey is... If you feel as though you are, I feel like if I feel like I'm done with my journey, then I'm no good, to not even myself, but just no good anymore. I think my life would just be over.
There's no finish line.
There's no finish line. No, you just got to keep going.
Every day is a new adventure. Every day is once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
This mindfulness stuff is not about going to Thailand, sitting on a satin pillow going all day.
Yeah.
It's about paying attention on purpose.
Yeah.
What we like to talk about on this show is that most people are time travelers, frequent flyer miles to the past and the future, brief layovers in the present.
Okay.
So we like to pay attention on purpose.
All right.
Eyes wide open. Be aware.
Let's be aware.
And I love this description of you, a Black science fiction author of a happier future. Say more about that, man. That's wonderful.
A Black science fiction author. Okay, so I always write. I write short stories. I want to write novels, but I also write lyrics. And I also write what's happening now. This is from my perspective, this is my pen writing. We're having this conversation. The things that we do every single day, we are authors of our own lives. So I tried to do a sort of a double entendre when I wrote that. As it was a lot of people, as soon as I wrote that, people were like, hey, you're an author? Let me see where your books are. Where are you this with this? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to explain, like, it's not just that. I'm shooting for that at some point. Hopefully I can point and say, yes, these are my books, but I want people to say, people to understand that this life that I'm living is me being an author of that. I am. And I'm also trying to create this because what did LeVar Burton, I don't remember what he said, and I'm sure he was saying something about someone else. But it's basically our lives that we are, it's not the right lives, but he likes speculative fiction, science fiction that could possibly be, you know? And I want to show people that, yes, science fiction could be true if we shoot for that. You know, before we didn't have, flying apparatuses. We didn't. We thought that would not be. We thought that was science fiction. But now it is. Now it's real. It's reality. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring that into fruition. That's why I wrote that.
I worked with a psychiatrist for a long time. His name was Safdar Chaudhry. He was from Pakistan, who was the absolute master of the non-answer. And whenever you would ask Doc anything, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? How about this? How about that? He'd look at me and he'd say, all futures are possible, Jim.
So true.
And isn't that wonderful? So when we look at, this is the idea about fishing without bait. It's about having a lifetime without definitive expectations, because it's expectations that limit us.
True.
They limit us.
Yeah.
So when we explore and we look at life, what we try to do is help people become the authors of their life, whether it's science fiction or not. It's open. We want to look at life as an opportunity. And I was listening to your God album, and it seems like you were exploring opportunities.
I was exploring opportunities. The one opportunity, I don't know how to put that, but this was brought to me before I made this album. This album was not going to be an album. The only reason why it became an album is because I was fishing for an opportunity to grab onto the momentum that this song, the original song that I wrote, I was trying to grab onto that momentum so that I can be recognized for what I do. I was hired on Fiverr, and I was hired by.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Say a little bit more about Fiverr.
Fiverr is it's a place where freelancers can go and offer their services to anyone in the world, and you can limit the price of what your services are. So the one thing that everybody seems to know about Fiverr is that you could pay as little as $5 to get some awesome work done. And it's ridiculous because I could not charge $5 and continue to live with the amount of time it takes me and effort to do that. But there are people that do that. And so it opens up a world where if you don't have a lot of finances, you can get something. You can still get something done for $15, and do stuff. You can hire people like me or hire anybody in different fields.
Describe some of these services that could be offered on Fiverr.
Voiceover. You could hire voiceover actors. You could hire animators. You can hire people to edit your video. You can hire people to edit your audio for your podcast. You could
cool.
hire people to do logos for it. You can almost anything that you could think of, you could hire them to do.
Is this mainly media type of people that are on that?
What do you mean?
I mean, you're talking about the editing, you're talking about producing, you're talking about voiceovers, all these type of things.
Those are the things that I could offer. So
Ah.
I'm trying to remember what else, but those were what I offer. I haven't really dived in to find out what else, but for the most part, I think it would be media. It's not like you could hire somebody to come over your house to fix something.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure people have made physical things and shipped it. So there's I think as long as you could think it in that type of environment, I'm sure you could do it.
Well, what we try to do is open up possibilities to people here, resources.
Exactly.
Where
it's a great resource.
We think a little bit outside of the box. Okay. And, most people live in a comfort zone. Okay.
Yes.
And that comfort zone is a misnomer, because a comfort zone is a boundary and it keeps you in there. What we try to do is help people help people understand that they can be a balloon with an infinite capacity for
Mm,
expansion.
yes,
And what that comfort zone does, it prevents them from expanding.
it does. It does indeed. And I don't think I think there's a lot of people who don't want to expand. And I think people like me in the service industry with entertainment and creativity, we would not exist without those people who don't want to go outside their comfort zone. If everybody went out their comfort zone, then I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be able to create for somebody as much.
I think you'd meet some more interesting people.
Yeah, I think
Ships
we
that
would.
stay in the harbor are safe,
True.
but they never go anywhere.
No, they won't. They won't. But I think that's my consumers. Those are the people who, when I create, they consume what I have.
Well, as a therapist, I mean, I'm a different type of therapist, obviously, but what we try to do is we frustrate people enough to go outside the box.
That's good. I think we all I do think we should. I think a lot of us or most of us need to. And if we did, a lot of our atmosphere of how it is now would change. The climate of our society would be a lot better off, I think, if people would, break outside of those comfort zones. They're not, everything's safe until the bomb drops right next to you, until it's right there.
That's great. That's right. But we don't want to wait until the wolf's
We
screaming at the door.
we don't. We don't. I think they believe that too. I think they don't want to, but they're safe.
I help people be proactive.
Yeah.
We try to help people be
Yeah.
proactive on this show. And the easiest way I explain that to people is Smokey the Bear says only you can prevent forest fires.
Yes.
Okay. It's easier to prevent a riot than to stop one.
Exactly. Always be prepared.
So what we try to do is say, hey, let's not wait until the fire starts before you look for the fire extinguisher.
True.
Let's have that. Let's be prepared. I noticed that some of the other things that described you was an impromptu live looping beatbox musician.
Beatbox musician. Yes.
I love that.
Thanks.
And what you do is you and you talk about that. You talk about celebrating uniqueness.
I do.
Say more about that. I love that.
I celebrating uniqueness. Part of that is I believe that people should I'm getting caught up because somebody said something the other day and I was still thinking about the musical therapy that I was talking to them, and I was just I think we were at a touch a truck and they were talking and they do mental health, and but I think this is maybe a piece of that where if I'm live in front of other people and doing improv, a lot of times I tell people, like, could you just tell me a little bit about your day? And a lot of times it's the people who had a bad day that come up to me and tell me a little bit about that. And then by the end of the song that we create on the spot about that bad day, they feel a lot better. And I always call it musical therapy. It's, we go through it. We go through those motions. We confront those, and then we move on. It helps them swallow it.
We didn't get a chance to fill out the questionnaire, so you could make a make a beat about us. But I like the idea of celebrating uniqueness because most people feel odd, they feel weird,
Yes.
they feel out of place, they feel they don't belong.
Yeah.
So what we try to do, okay, is to help them understand that there are a few standard deviations away from the norm, and that's a good thing. And we help them celebrate their uniqueness.
Yes, that's the best. That's the way to do it. What is it? The way it started before I started doing this more often than not was I was a delivery driver, and I would go all around delivering office supplies. It wasn't different. It's always office supplies. Go to different locations, office supplies, office supplies, office supplies. But then I would get last names, and I would write it down, and then that was a person. And then I would get their name, and that was a person. And then one day I realized, if I didn't give you your office supplies, and you didn't get your office supplies, and you were closed, that for some strange reason, because we're 6 degrees of separated, that because you didn't get your office supplies and you were closed, that affected the other one that I was delivering to. I was like, why are they're so connected? You didn't realize how connected they were. And I was looking at that, trying to show everybody, like, look, we're all similar. We all affect each other. And for some strange reason, I was like, when I was on my routes, you're just alone by yourself, alone with your thoughts. And as when I grew up, my mom would always teach me through song, and I would learn something through song. So when I'm like looking for a house number, I would be beatboxing the house number so that I could remember where to get to the house. And then the names, and then somebody's name. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do something. I want to challenge myself to do something, but I want to include all these people that I see, hundreds of stops every day. And I started, or every week. And I started like thinking, like, if I could get this person's name and understand what their day is about, and if I could understand this person and their day about, and just show different people the different aspects and understand that we're all connected.
We are all connected. Not too long ago, perhaps if you ever wanted to listen, those out there, we have a guest called Santina Grace. She's a clairvoyant medium.
Ooh.
I've had her on 5 times. She's very insightful. And the last time we talked about the illusion of separateness.
Wow.
The illusion of separateness.
The illusion of separateness.
Yes, yes. So the Sanskrit thing, the yoga people have taken it over from Sanskrit, but so hum, it's a common in yoga, so hum, they say like that, where what the translation is I am that.
I am that.
I am that. That means that the Buddhists, the Hindus, all these folks, the Quakers, I'm a Quaker, we view everything's made up of the same type of energy. The birds, the water, the trees, the rocks, us, you and I, the producer of this program. So their thoughts is if I am that, the Buddha forbid intentional killing. And so did the Hindus. They said, you're not going to chop down a tree just because you have, because destroying that destroys part of you.
Part of you, yeah.
Okay.
We're all together. We're all connected.
Yes, we're all connected.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes, yes. And you've heard of the chaos effect, where the beating of a butterfly's wings in Japan can affect the winds in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. We're all interconnected.
And that's what the My Job theme song started. That's what I started, was just trying to create these songs. And I did one per week for like, it may have been 2 years straight, may have been a year and a half straight, because I just, after a certain amount of time, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. But I was doing one song per week, celebrating a different person. And the only way I could do it was by creating a form, doing a survey, having people just go. I'm like, go to my website, fill it out, and I will pick a name. And I was picking a name every day, every week, and I would just do a whole new song.
I saw that you have quite a backlog.
Yes. The theme song Thursdays, that's what we called it.
Yes.
Yeah, there's 200 and something songs now.
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you have that. I'm gonna listen to it. By the way, I did subscribe to your channel.
Oh, okay.
But everybody's unique, and it's not those sales managers, the invoice people, the warehouse folks. We always respect honest work.
Yeah.
And you know what? Work doesn't define who you are.
No.
Being a mama or a daddy or a brother, a sister, friend, an employee doesn't define who you are.
No.
It's your values, your choices, your non-negotiables. That's who define who you are. Exactly. And that's what I'm catching from some of your songs.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's where some of the questions were. It was, yes, you are a nurse. Yes, you do this job. But the only way that I could find out who you are is by you answering this next question, or however the question is. That person's a nurse, you're a nurse, that person's a nurse, but you answer these questions specifically a certain way, and that's what defined you as a person. It's like, yes, you're a nurse, but I handled the situation this way. These are my pet peeves. These are the things that I like about my job, and every single answer is going to be different. I had 3, 4, 5, I think 6 different pharmaceutical techs, And because I went to a pharmacy and they were all there, and I was like, well, can you all fill out this survey? I didn't get to pick them all, but I tried to pick as much as I could because it was random. But they all had a different way of doing their job and seeing their job and seeing the people that worked around them. And I did, I think, maybe two or three songs of that. And I was like, wow, like they're different songs, obviously. But then like the beat's different, the feels different, the way that they wanted to express was different. But they all had the same job. It's so great.
Yes, they most certainly do. And what we try to do is help that connectivity and dispel the illusion of separateness.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all here. We're all here, and it's right now. We can't be anywhere else.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm right here. It's
Exactly.
right now, brother.
Yeah.
That's it. This is the only place it can be.
Yeah.
This is the only time it can be.
That's it. The now.
So what we try to do is help people stay more present and in the future and understand that all emotions are temporary. Emotions are like puffs of smoke. They'll blow away in the wind unless we add our thoughts to them, which I call stretching them out into enduring agony. So if you qualify emotions, I feel sad in the moment, right now, or at present. You might want to use that with your kids.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm angry. Well, right now you are.
Right now you
or
are.
In this moment, yes, you are.
Yeah.
And that's validating.
Yes.
But understanding that it's just in the moment.
That's it.
Anger doesn't define who you are.
No.
You don't walk in. You didn't introduce yourself as anger tonight, did you?
No, I don't remember.
Or laughter, or resentment, or bitterness. No.
No.
Emotions don't define who you are.
Yeah.
They're an expression.
They are.
Okay? So what we try to do is help people understand that the only thing that they can control is what's right in front of them.
Yeah.
The only thing that people can control is their reaction. Life's neither fair nor unfair. It just is.
It is. That's it.
And the beautiful part of this world is that you get to choose how to use it. If you drop a hula hoop over your body, your locus of control is right inside of that hula hoop. It doesn't extend.
No. Does it? It doesn't? Not at all? Not like the butterfly?
Your locus of control. The only thing you or I have control over is how we can respond to situations.
Yeah. I would just let it fall all the way down. I can't. I haven't mastered it. I did.
Our job is to do no harm.
Do no harm.
Do no harm to anyone or anything. And as long as you're doing no harm to anyone or anything, you just go ahead and do as you choose.
Just keep on doing it.
That's these two most powerful words that a human being has in their vocabulary.
Which one's that one?
I choose.
Oh, I choose. I see it.
Most people that live their lives on I have to, I need to, I must, I'd better.
Yeah.
Those are self-defeating words.
Yeah.
They give you no choices.
No.
The words I choose empower you.
Yes. Yeah. Choices.
I choose. You chose to come on this show tonight.
I did. I chose that.
Please continue to watch for our next podcast where we have our continuing conversation with our guest, Kidmental. And as always, a free prescription, fruits, nuts, and vegetables, and unplug your television and take up fishing. And for a truly mindful experience, we suggest that you fish without bait. Do a kindness for yourself and do a kindness for another. Forgive yourself and forgive another. If we're all not God's children, none of us are. Till all are free, none are free. Namaste.
Please check out our website at fishingwithoutbait.com, where you can listen to the show, comment on our discussions, and find out where you can subscribe to our podcast. If you're interested in flying the colors of Fishing Without Bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.